DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Man, I wish I had a cool intro like those other guys do. If only I knew a graphics guy that could do one for me. Oh, wait, I'm live. Hey, good evening and welcome to our Tuesday night live shows. I'm John Young with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV. And tonight, we've got a great show lined up, multiple shows lined up, chats lined up for you, hangouts lined up for you. We got just stuff. And it's going to be going on tonight right here on our DJNTV channels. So we're going to start off with, we've got about 25 minutes or so where we're going to be talking a little bit of gear and doing some different things with that, showing you kind of a world debut for a lighting controller. Hang on, I'm gonna give you a tease here. Check this out. There it is, right there. That little box can do some incredible things. And we're going to be looking at that tonight. And I'm going to demonstrate what it can do in this first pre-show time. And then after that, you guys are going to jump to one of three different rooms tonight. We've got three different live chats that are going on. First in room one, and they're in no particular order, but we've got a room that has Jay Brannon and Brian Red in tonight. They're going to be, well, that's a great question of what these two are going to be talking about, because there's very seldom when you get those two together will you find a topic that they won't riff on a little bit. They've got a very wide range of knowledge, wider range of opinions. Well, especially Jay. We won't go and talk about Pastor Jay when he gets preaching and such about different things in the industry, but hey, they're going to have some fun. That's going to be a great show. That's one of the options. And again, the links are all in the description down below the video or wherever the descriptions are on the video if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube. Second, we've got Ron Ruth and Jim Cerrone are going to be coming in, and both are incredibly talented and very intelligent wedding entertainers. These guys have been there, done that. They've got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to connecting sales, marketing, music, performance. Jim Cerrone, some of you know him as the perfect host. You know, Ron Ruth with his areas, especially when he's been talking about the creativity side of things. That's their area and such. But a lot of you don't know that in Jim's case, he's a music programmer. He's went with radio stations. This guy knows music, and he did some music shows back in the old days of DJ radio that were just fabulous. They're going to be talking wedding stuff tonight. Then the final show, we're going to get a taste of our new Monday night show with Shani, Dan, myself, and Jared Wade's going to be joining us. So we're going to just kind of hang out a little bit tonight and talk a little bit and see what Shani's been up to. We haven't seen Shani for almost a month. Holy cats. So we're going to get caught up a little bit tonight and get ready, because next week on DJNTV, we launch our whole new series of shows. The whole list of the shows that we're going to be launching next week, which some of our old favorites are still there, and then we've added a lot of new content. There's going to be, I think, 15 different things going on each and every week, which sounds like an awful lot. But keep in mind, most of these things are going to be like 3 to 5 minute spots, and then there's our longer live shows that we do. But we're going to have more of these little quick hitter shows, these 3 to 5 to 10 maybe minute shows, so that are going to give you some information that you can go and you sit down, you watch these and think about it a little bit and be like, hey, there's a takeaway. That's what we're after. Those quick little hitters. And that will be a lot of what you're going to see in 2018 on DJNTV. Plus, of course, our live shows. So that's next week. We start that Sunday morning. Sunday with Mike comes back. This will be, January 7th? Could be. Anyway, Sunday morning at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. Sunday with Mike, we'll be back kicking off our whole new season here of shows on DJNTV. So if you're out watching on Facebook, thank you for being with me. If you're out watching on YouTube, I'm going to try a little bit to keep an eye on the chat room, but it's going to be really tough. Scott, I'm going to have you just keep an eye on the chat room, and you can you can tell us where everything's going and how much fun everyone's having in there. And Howie will he'll make sure no one gets in that is going to cause any trouble. It'll be a good night. Good night to that. Last week, when you guys were trying to get into the different chat rooms, we did have a little issue with some of the rooms. We had more people than we thought, and we didn't really understand that they put a cap of 100 people getting into the rooms, and that was divided amongst 2 rooms. So we had 2 of the rooms that weren't capped with the 100 from the DJNTV, and we had 2 that were capped. So between the 3 rooms at one point in time, we had 150 people in these 4 rooms. We had 150 people in those 4 rooms. During that particular time, I probably had another dozen people who were trying to get into one of those 2 rooms that were already filled. Don't have that problem tonight. We can handle up to 200 people in each room tonight. So we're really kind of excited about that. And if you do get a chance and there's a show you like, please share that Zoom link that are in the, again, comments, descriptions. Share that on your Facebook page with people and say, hey, check this out, especially if there's friends of yours who are interested in some of these different topics. Tomorrow night, Bill Herman's going to be talking performance. We've got Jeremy Breck, who's going to be handling lighting. He's going to do a little presentation with lighting, and he's going to answer questions about lighting. And then Matt Peterson is going to be coming in and talking about going from being a part-time DJ, what you need to do from going part-time to becoming a full-time DJ. So you're getting some lighting, you're getting some performance, and you're getting some business talk, all in tomorrow night's show. And of course, beforehand, I'll have the pre-show doing another little session for you guys. I'm going to see if we can do some audio things tomorrow night. Maybe we'll go into that side of the shed and do it from back there. That'd be kind of fun. But okay, so I think we've got our house cleaning all done. Again, thank you guys for being with and such. How we broke the Zoom? No, you did. Yeah. Last week you broke it. We just had to fix it. We had to get heavier duty cables. It was fabulous. So our show, we're going to be talking in the first half hour. We're going to be talking about this little guy right here. This is from Aeon Raven. Aeon Raven, and this is their. I want to get this right. And I have different microphones set up, so basically it can pick me up either direction. This is their DMX Blackbird PFX edition. Now, if you go to their website, Aeon Raven, you're going to find there's 2 different. There's kind of a basic one, and then there's this guy. Well, the difference between the 2 is the basic one doesn't have some of the knobs and such on the front. And I'll get into why that's important when we switch to the other camera where you guys can take a better look at it. Overall, what these devices do is they will listen to the audio signal coming out of your board. So you could run your mains and split it and run it into this board, or you could do like I'm doing in this configuration, where the mains are going to be what you're going to be able to hear over my microphone, and then you're going to be able to hear, or I should say, then my booth out is going to that. I found from my playing in the office that seems to work really, really quite well, because if I don't have 2 separate outs, then I'm not really sending a hot enough signal to the lights. And again, you'll see that when I get into it, and I'll kind of explain what it does there. But what this little device will do is it will allow you to control different fixtures that are kind of in an RGB configuration. It can handle a tri-LED, which is an RGB. It can go to an RGBW, so you can have a 4, a quad, and you can go to a hex with this. And it has different settings. Now, if you imagine all of the different addresses, the 512 addresses in your DMX world. And I don't want to get too complicated with this, but there's 512 different addresses. You could have your light addressed as light 1, 2, 3, whatever. You can just choose a spot in which that would be where it starts to pay attention when there's information sent to that address. If I have my light set to address 12, it will pay attention when any data is sent to address 12. So they've got these 512 different spots. And what they've done with this little guy, this little controller, is it has basically different blocks of addresses that it has set up to run a light. Now, these blocks all coincide and are kind of synced up with each other. So what I mean by that is that if I have just an RGB fixture, and this isn't exactly how it is as far as the actual numbers, I'm just going to give you an example. Let's say I want to control RGB fixtures and an RGB AW fixture. So I have a tri-LED with 3 RGB, and I have one that has RGB AW. It has 5, or it could be the hex with the UV. What they've done is they have it so that maybe like the first 3 address 1, 2, and 3 would talk to my RGB. Then they have a little bit of a blank spot. Then maybe say at DMX address 10, that's where I could set my second light that is that RGB AW. And it tells you exactly if you have this type of fixture with these DMX controls, set it at this address. So it has all through there different things. So maybe the first 10 would be controlling an RGB fixture. Then they might be controlling a quad. Then the next 10 might be controlling a hex. It's not using all of those different addresses in there, but what they've got it is that it will do. That way, when it goes through and the controller tells the red light to go on, it will tell the red for the RGB to go on. It'll tell the red from the quad to go on. It'll tell the red from the hex to go on. It will do that across the whole spectrum, which is really kind of cool because I could have, these are all hexes back here that you're seeing. I could have hexes and I could have tri and I could have quad. I could have all of these different LED lights in my show, and this little box or the other little box would actually be able to send the right signal to it so that all of them would be red at the same time. All of them would be blue at the same time, which is really kind of a fabulous little ability. You can also do some different things. Now, this is the difference between the simple controller and the more advanced controller. I'm going to switch over now so I can there we go. And now, unfortunately, I'm going to have my back to everyone here on that. So you guys are going to have to just kind of follow. Hopefully, there's nothing too exciting in the chat room. So I am back here making sure. Okay. So now with the little box here, I want to make sure I've got enough microphone. Good. I'm going to bring it down. Sorry, this is just getting things set a little bit better for you guys, so it sounds decent. So the DMX Blackbird, what it will do, I can have my my DMX signal going out. I've got a switch on the side here. I can go from a live mode to a beat mode to off, which off basically shuts it off. I've got a switch here that goes from color assign to sound reactive. So when it's in sound reactive, it's listening to what my board's going to do. I'm over in a color mode. I have these 3 little sliders. I've got a red, green sliders, little knob, red, green, and blue knob, and it's talking to the controller. Now the last knob is kind of cool, and this is one of the reasons why it talks about making sure that you know exactly if it's amber white or if it's white amber, because this little knob will go to white if you turn it this way. And again, this is when I'm set to color assign, or it can go to UV if I go that way. This is kind of a cool little feature. I'm getting my white, or I'm getting my UV. Now, if amber and UV would be switched in this, because some companies go RGB white amber, some go amber white. Well, then I just have to go to a different DMX setting. To make these lights work, I believe I went to I want to say this is at 255, DMX address 255, 252, 262, 272, 282. That's how they did this. And I had to put these. Now, these have multiple channel modes. I had to put these in 6-channel mode because that would control just the 6 colors, RGB, AW, UV. Once I'm all set with those, then I plug this in and I'm good to go. I'm going to turn around here and come back up to my laptop, my friendly neighborhood laptop here. That is, I want to go and we're going to go back to sound reactive now. And excuse me, I gotta listen to this so I can see if you guys are hearing anything. So, there we go. Yes, you can hear the music in the background. And I'm going to do I want to get a loop here. Let's see, can I do now just give me a second here. I want to make sure we have. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I've got that set, so I can just leave my headphones back there. So what we have going on right now is I have my board. I'm running out, so I'm gonna kind of bend this a little bit. I think I can do this. I just want you guys to be able to see. So on my board, probably gonna give you a headache. The master out is here. I have that very low because that's what you guys are hearing is the master out that you're hearing behind my microphone. I could even bring it down a little bit more. This is the booth out. You see I've got the booth out maxed, and I've got to get quite a bit of sound out of the other spots. I'm coming out of the back of the controller, and then I am good to go. I'm just gonna get this set again, sorry. So I've done that, and I can, as I push the volume a little bit higher, you can see the lights, I just pulled it down, so there's still, you can still hear it a little bit. But as I'm going, I have, here's my bright and my dim. So now I am pretty much wide open on my fader here, and I've got my lights going. Going to the music, by the way. So now what's really kind of cool about these lights is not only can I make it so that they're going to the music, I can actually set them up. Now this is actually set up, I want to give you the exact terminology in which they're using this. They are, hang on, they call this the dynamic banks, the dynamic area. And I want to show you where, here we go. So this is the light that I have right here. I've got a hex fixture, and this is the configuration of the channels in 6-channel mode: red, green, blue, white, amber, UV. Because again, white is the one that they need to know where it is. That's why it has that. That means that if I want to go into non-reactive mode, we'll talk about that in just a second. These are set in dynamic bank mode, which means that the 4 of them are synced together in a synced light show, but they're going to each act a little bit differently. That meant the first one had to be set at address 252, 262, 270. So you need to have 4 lights so they can do what they're doing, so they can be kind of a cool light effect. Let's say I wanted them all to do the exact same thing. I can do that. I can go over here and make it all in one. And that would start at DMX address 12. If you guys can see that. I'm not sure if you're seeing that or not. I'm sorry if you can't. Okay, so I think that's kind of cool, but I want to do something different. I want to be a band where I have maybe one of them is constantly red, one of them is constantly blue. Well, then I can go to static bank. What static bank means is that if I want this one to always be red, I would set it at 84. If I wanted this one to be blue, I'd set it at 94. Once I set those fixtures, and what's kind of cool is it says amber is 114. If this didn't have an amber, the software actually will use the colors within the light fixture of the RGB to create amber. So it'll actually still give you the amber. Anyway, what static bank would do then is this is always red, this is always blue, this is always in that kind of a situation. So they would be like the old flood cans we used to use with the PAR 58 or 64 or whatever they were, 56, where we used to have gels. That's what they would be, simulate the static banks, where the light is that color and it's just controlling the on and off. So wherever you would see blue flashing here, it would be just one light flashing the blue, and the others would do what they were going to do. Now what's cool about this is I can do all of these at the exact same time. I could decide that I want some of them to be all in one. Say I have some lighting behind me, and I wanted them to all be all in one. So let's say when they would go red, they would all go red. When the blues are coming on, they would all go blue. I can go and I can set that, and some of the lights, I could have some RGB fixtures behind me that were all in one. Now we're doing that. In the same time, I could jump out of that DMX-wise, and maybe I wanted some that were acting as a static bank. I could do that. I could have like 4 lights on either side of me. So let's say I have 8 behind me that are all in one. I could have 4 on either side of me that were then, every time red would hit, the ones in back, there would be red hitting back there, and all the reds in the bank of 4. So the red light in the bank of 4 would go on. So I'd have red behind me and 1 light of red on the side, or blue behind me and a blue on the side. Now I maybe wanted to really spruce it up, and then having some front lighting on me, and I wanted it to be this. This is the dynamic area where it all would work back and forth. And say I wanted 8 of those, I could have 2 sets of 4. So I have the address 255, 252, 262, 272, 282. I could have another set of lights with those same addresses, and now they would basically be doing what you're seeing right now. If I don't like this is, by the way, live mode. I can go to beat mode and give you a little more. And this is the mode that would give us those colors that we were talking, the colors, and make it a little bit easier than as we were seeing before as it's bouncing around. You're seeing this go to the music. I'm not hearing the music to hear what's going with the bass and what's not. Anyway, the final part though, so I've got my back lights, my side lights, my front lights. Now I wanted to have up lights around the room. I can go and I can do some that are non-reactive, and I can start that at address 390. And what happens is that on my controller, I've got my sound reactive right now, and that's what it's doing. I have beat mode, which is what you're seeing. That is the flickering of live mode. But I've got beat mode that's doing its thing to the music. When I am set in sound reactive, these 4 become my non-reactive switches or buttons, or knobs. So I can go and I could have again, continuing one cable out to my backlights, then go to my side, then to the front. From the front, I could go across to the up around the room, and then it's like, oh, I want some blue in the room. I could just turn this up. This way, these four would control my uplights. So I could have some red, I could have some green, I could have that. Now, in this situation, if I have those set at DMX address 390, they're not going to chase, and I can't get them to chase unless I would go out to them and change that start address to one of the, either at 12, one of these, or one of these, which obviously if I'm going to do a lot of them, I would want to go to 12 so that they would sync up and such, so they would all, but I mean, I wouldn't have to. I could go and make them dynamic every 4. You know, that this one could be, you know, in essence 1, this could be 2, that's 3, 4, and then I could start over again. I could do whatever I want to have a full light show going completely around the room. So it's really kind of a cool little thing of what these can do. Just a small little guy. Has a little wall wart, a tiny little wall wart that goes with it. It comes with you can get the cabling and such. I mean, it comes. The inputs are just an RCA, nothing fancy with that. But probably the biggest thing is that you needed to have that secondary kind of a jack area where you had that. I'm going to shut that off. We've got that audio feed coming out of it, because without that audio feed coming out, you're just not going to have that have the ability to control what's going to the lights and then what's going out to your speakers. Overall, I've been really kind of surprised at the functionality of this little box. It's really quite cool. They did put a lot of thought into that. What's the middle thing? I don't know what's your middle thing. Sorry. What did I not? I'm not sure what I missed. I missed what part of it. Yeah, price wise, it's around $260 is what that is on their website. I just looked it up before we came here. We've got a few more minutes here. If you guys had any other questions or something I didn't explain that well, please let me know. I can definitely try to clarify something or share that. Yes, you can. There's no updating. You basically get it. It's a plug and play system. Once you figure out exactly what you need, there's not any changing of it. There's not any really updating or what have you. It is what it is. Now, they show on the website where they've used it to control, again, really any light that uses it's a 6-channel light that has some movement and things. So some of these big Revo type lights would work well with this, where you have it basically the colors, and then it has some different changing. You would just have to find a spot, and it tells you in there. And they even said that if you wanted to do some fancier programming with it, to contact them, and they could probably set you up with some different things and give you an idea of what it what that could do for your light show if you wanted to go that route. But if you're just looking for something that would run floods, I definitely think this would be something to could be that. There really isn't any different shows. It's just Jared mentions it would be a great little backup. I mean, it's just one of those things that would be there, and it would be something that would chase floods. Is really all it could do. Yes, it could do some like the Revo maybe or something to that effect, but overall, I don't know if I would probably just use it as that backup for the floods. You can keep it in your case, and once you're done with it, or if you don't need it, it could stay there. It's not going to lose any memory because it's all basically the RAM of the system. And if you need it, you plug it in, change your DMX address on your lights, and you're good to go. And you have controllability. I mean, between the dimming is controlled by your board, the sound output of your board, and then I can do some static things with the lights if I wanted to. If I wanted to just have my lights. If I just wanted to turn my lights on, yes, here I'm looking at my YouTube video. It's like, why aren't those lights turning on? It's like, yeah, I'm looking at the YouTube. But I mean, I can do things. I can do things with it, with the knobs and such. And I like that where I can go white. So I can go white, turn the red up a little bit, get kind of a pink. Yeah, that's just kind of a cool little device there. So anyway, aeonraven.com is that where I'm going to do a separate video on this to give you guys an idea of what it is. But I wanted to give you out there watching tonight a world debut of this little device. So it's time to go and grab yourself a beverage and to jump in on our chats tonight. We, again, have 3 different chats. The links are in the description below if you're on Facebook or YouTube. Tomorrow, if you didn't get one of the shows, we're going to try to get these edited yet tonight, if possible. It depends on how late things go. Tomorrow, we will put these videos, start putting these up, and by Friday, we should have them all up. So the Zoom links won't be any good after tonight, but we'll put the shows and such up on this. And if you come back to this video on YouTube, the links will be adjusted and fixed. So Friday, come to this video, and you'll be able to catch the links to the shows that you didn't catch tonight. So, hey, I see people are getting into the chat rooms and such. So you guys go have yourself a great time tonight and enjoy. And remember, when you come in there, please shut your microphones off, so that way when people are asking questions and things, they can, we don't have all this interference. And then when you want to ask a question, there's the raise the hand feature. Click on that. So then they'll know that, hey, it's time to ask a question, or, to get to that question. So I'm John Young with the Disc Jockey News. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you tomorrow night. We'll be doing the same thing again. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.